What up, everybody? It's your boy Kentario, and I'm back again for another episode of Christ and Comic Books. And if you're new to this channel, our focus is to look at anime, manga, and comic books, as well as other forms of media to see if the gospel of Jesus Christ can be shared through this type of content. So if you're watching this video and you find that you like it, please make sure that you hit that like button as well as hit the subscribe button. That way, this type of content is getting boosted within the YouTube algorithm. Also, I love to get your feedback, so please make sure that you leave a comment in the comment section because I'd love to hear from you. Thank you guys for joining me. Let's get into it. So I finally got to watch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and trust me when I say this movie truly blew me away. Blew me away so much that it is arguably the best movie that Marvel has come out with, in my opinion, since Endgame.
Oh, whoa, hey.
And like we always do in videos like this where we're reviewing anime, manga, movies, or even comic books, we're going to do a review of what was taking place in the movie, then we're going to talk about what I liked and did not like about the movie, and ending on my Christian point of view. Is there anything from the gospel that we can glean from this movie? So the movie starts out with everybody just chilling on nowhere. Magnificent music playing in the background for all of a sudden them to be attacked by Adam Warlock. Thus he gravely injures Rocket Raccoon, and the team gathers together to work towards finding a way to save him, where they identify that a kill switch is already embedded in him, that nothing is allowed to be used to save him. What? Along the way to get what they need to save Rocket, they partner not only with Gamora, who has reappeared but doesn't have any of the relationship or memories that she had when she was alive before. They also get a better understanding of the history of Rocket's upbringing, leading to the team encountering the High Evolutionary, someone who is consumed and obsessed with creating the perfect species, beginning by experimenting on animals as well as Rocket Raccoon in that same process. Has he continued on that venture, but along the way does he create and destroy. And not only are they looking to save Rocket by taking him down, they're looking to put an end to the chaos that he causes in these experiments. Everything about this movie was arguably on point. Cinematography, music, the comedy.
Was that you were in love with? It sounds more like her.
Her? That's ridiculous.
Do not bring me into this.
Knock it off!
What?
Just never noticed how black your eyes were.
They were replaced by my father as a method of torture.
He picked a pretty set.
Balance with the seriousness and the emotions that they're looking to tag in, and other such things like your explosions that you need. The fight scenes are off the chain. Everything is on point. Even in the beginning, like I said, it starts very slow at first and immediately goes fast paced, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is dire, this is serious, this could go really, really wrong. Now, before I go into talking about what I like and dislike about the movie, I do want to preface that I will not be going over every single nitpicky detail. I might just save those type of conversations for TikTok. But as far as this video goes, we are going to be looking at what I do and do not like about the movie of Guardians of the Galaxy. So let's start with the dislikes. Keep in mind, there are going to be spoilers ahead in regards to this conversation. The first thing that I want to point out that it wasn't horrible, it just got annoying over time, and that was playing on different characters possibly dying. Let's run through these characters real quick. Of course, first and foremost, that being Rocket Raccoon. Rocket Raccoon gets attacked by Adam Warlock, and he does massive amounts of damage. And being that they can't use a med pack on him due to the kill switch, he's slowly dying, and he's on a respirator throughout the majority of this movie. And so you already have that scare. Then, of course, we see him beat up everybody. It even shocked me when he broke Mantis's arm. Not too used to seeing, you know, bone breaking or, heads exploding and things like that in any of these MCU movies for the most part. And so for them to just be like, you get the crack and everything, it was like, oh goodness, they're going extreme right now. So the pressure of that was on edge. It's like we could lose anybody. They leave you with that impression from the beginning of the movie. So then they skip to this other instance in which they are invading a place to get the records for Rocket Raccoon's history. And then we have this instance of Drax getting shot twice. The first shot was in the chest, and it looks like his chest has got a hole in it, and he's barely breathing, and you're just like, oh my goodness. Mantis lifts him up, and another shot to the back of the same power. And it's just like, yo, we just lost Drax. So they're leaving that impression. But Drax is okay. You get to the end of the movie finding out that, of course, that, Rocket Raccoon makes it. Given. Okay, not surprised. And then we have where, okay, I'm not going over every instance, I'm just going over some of the highlights. Then they put us in this position of Star-Lord dying. The man is trying to get through space, get back to where it's safe, and freezes. Groot can't reach him, nobody can reach him, he even blows up and gets bloated. But then a heart-changed Adam Warlock shows up and even saves him. So in this entirety of this movie, we lose nobody.
Oh, brother!
Nobody dies in this movie. And so it wasn't that I needed someone to die, but to play on that throughout the whole movie over and over and over. This person could die, this person could die, someone could get shot, someone could get blown up, the earth is being destroyed. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. To imply that over and over and over again was getting annoying in some sense. I don't mind shock value. I love being shocked, and I was shocked every time it happened. But then, like I said, I was kind of getting fed up. It's like, if you're gonna play on someone dying, do it. The next one being with Adam Warlock, and I think that was probably, if there was any upset that was the greatest, that was the greatest upset, though it's not the last upset that I'm pointing out. You see, they portray Adam Warlock the same way that they portrayed Thor over time, making him this, not because he's ignorant to the ways of the world or the ways of the universe, because he comes from somewhere else, but that he's literally an idiot, that he is literally dumb. Granted, in Thor's case, he's dumb due to trauma, and in this case, they made Adam Warlock dumb because he was born prematurely, so he has a childlike mind, and he's, subject to being influenced to do things or go on tantrums, etc. They were kind of playing on that, but they made him a little too dumb. And in some sense, they did that with Adam Warlock in the comics, but he was being built up more so to become like a messianic character, a Christ-like character. And like I said, that's the biggest upset because I'm a huge fan of Adam Warlock, particularly for those reasons. He's so strong, he's able to stand up to Thanos toe-to-toe. Granted, the way that they portray his power and how much damage he can actually tolerate, he kind of lives up to the power set. At the same time, making him just a complete idiot, it broke my heart because I wanted to see Adam Warlock kind of shine in a way, not made a fool of. And so that's one of the things, like I said, that I struggled with when it came to Adam Warlock's character, but I can live with it, and I'm going to get into that when I get into the Christian point of view of this movie. The next thing, and this will probably be a major religious piece to that, is at first I was given the impression that the High Evolutionary is a representation of man's radical view of who God is, because they have several biblical references throughout this movie. Granted, saving that for the Christian point of view. But when I first got that inkling, that's just like, oh no, they're doing this now. Now they're going to be making fun of God. They already made fun of gods in Thor: Love and Thunder with the way that they treated Gore before he came Gore the God Butcher. Now they want to go there here with the High Evolutionary. This is getting annoying. Like, I was mentally preparing myself for that being the case. However, even my perspective on that changed, where he comes out and says that there is no God. That's why he had to step in. So that made me have a breath fresh, like, whew, okay, now I know what he's a representation of. Again, that's going to be clarified more in the Christian perspective. Yeah, I get it. You guys are looking at this like, these don't really seem like dislikes. Like I said, my dislikes do not compare to how much I really actually love the movie. But the last thing that it's been consistent throughout the entirety of the changes since Endgame for what the MCU is in some sense shifting to. I got to do a video pointing out what I'm suspecting that the MCU is actually doing, because I don't want to get into that in this video. But one of the things that I see that they continue to do is where they, allowed for the team, the Guardians, to split up at the end of the movie. They set it up to where, one, Rocket is going to be leading the Guardians of the Galaxy alongside Groot and a couple of other characters. Though some of these characters have been there throughout, they bring in Adam Warlock, they bring in a child who's one of the kids that they ended up saving at the end of the movie, and then they bring in, oh man, I forget the guy's name, but he controls the arrow now that Mary Poppins, y'all, was using. And so they brought him into the team. There's this new team of people that we don't have this fully established relationship with. So when we look at this new team, it's just like, hey, I love this team. It's just like, I'm now being introduced to this team. What's this dynamic? So you're left with the impression of wanting to know the dynamic rather than having an understanding of that dynamic. If that makes sense, that's just how it felt for me. And throughout several of the newest movies and things like that, we're given that impression time after time after time. And so that's my biggest thing with that, is being left with this impression of, you know, someone else is stepping up or someone else is taking over, and you don't have the connection with this new person, and you're hoping that that connection will be good, but in the way that they introduce these new people to be those founding connections don't get you bought in to wanting to see that.
Oh, no.
It doesn't do that for me. And so that's why that was something that is not major, but it's a continuous thing that the MCU is doing, is making these new teams. These are going to be the replacements. This is the new Hawkeye. This is the new Ant-Man. This is the new Guardians of the Galaxy. These are the new Avengers. They're setting us up for all of these different teams and individuals and groups and all of this that you have to adjust for. And so that would be something that I would say is close, not entirely, but close to a dislike for me. Now let's talk about the likes.